swing. Exactly
all right,
when I
man.
was meant to be. I'm a big fish in a small pond. Got my days free and my nights long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. To I am. Hi, everybody. It's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? Hi, Leo. How's it going with you?
Hi there. Good.
So,
How are you today?
Leo, look at your background. I got to say, I just realized I didn't even put on my lights yet. I just have those little string lights, but that's fine. You, on the other hand, have a gorgeous background. You're magical, Leo. You know, you do very magical things there. So
I try to.
I'm telling you.
I'm inspired. But you know what? As I was doing this, I thought you could talk about your wonderful.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you so much. Where would I be without Leo Rodriguez? He is our accidental intern that turned into our accidental stage manager.
I am a perfect example of what happens when you're raised by television.
No, you are a perfect example of showing up on time, going above and beyond, and then all of a sudden, the boss says, I really need this guy. I'm telling you, Leo, that's what you're a perfect example of. Okay, we have merchandise. We haven't talked about it in a while. So we have our mugs. Leo does have the prototype, so that's a little upscale. That's the Louis, the Christian Louis Vuitton.
Leo Vuitton.
The Leo Vuitton of cups. But this cup, which says, go ahead, keep eating on the back, is only $10. So if you would like that, let us know, and we'll get it out to you. What else is $10? You can't get much for $10. You know what I always say? Half a lap dance. That's about it.
But
and
this
these days,
is a good $10.
Yeah. These days, you can't even do that. All right. So we have tote bags. Now, what's happening with tote bags in the city? I don't know about you guys, but New York City, you got to bring your own bag, or you got to pay for a reusable bag. So
10 cents a bag. 10 cents a bag in California.
Out here, it's 35 cents a bag.
Whoa.
3 for $1.
Yeah, so that pays for itself immediately.
Exactly. So there's your tote bag if you like that. And it's washable, which is great because
I have to reach back here in my picture. Here.
Oh, yes, I see that.
I have to reach my picture and pull this out. Magically.
Now, Leo knows that this is our piece de resistance, our apron, or blue apron, because blue is the color of 2021. Blue is just the color to go. Okay, so here's our apron. Now, Leo, I don't know about you, but lots of people grill in the summertime. This is going to come in very handy. And I will remind you, Father's Day is June 20th, or just Nice Guy Day, because I have a lot of friends that are just nice guys. So I would get that for them for Father's Day, or anything else you want to buy for your friends that are, or women. I mean, most of my girlfriends have that, but if you want to get it for a guy as well. Also, I'm telling Leo that I've been seeing a resurgence of CD players. I love CDs, and I have a ton of CDs back there. I don't know if you can see all my CDs back there, but I've been seeing a lot of it on Facebook. People are buying CDs again. So I do have 2 CDs, but my second one is, I have a lot more of these. So this is only $10. If you want any of this stuff, just reach out to me, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on my website, whether it's text, whatever, and let's work it out. And I will send those or mail those out to you. Or if you're in the city, I will deliver them to you myself.
Amputated Skyline is on that album.
Yes,
right?
Amputated Skyline is on here.
I'd
rather never know what you love. That's your song that you love.
And so, I mean, I listened to it as I'm working.
And you did a beautiful version of it in your show, Leo, which I loved. John Pandish has joined us. Greg Conrad has joined us. Our friend Kenny Holcomb he is in Nashville, Tennessee. Kenny, good to see you. Kenny did some beautiful work for a a group I'm working with called New Dawn. He made our poster. It came out great.
And he's got a beautiful, beautiful singing voice.
Oh, yeah. Well, Kenny's not just a singer. He's like it's epic what happens with Kenny. Epic. He doesn't even need a microphone.
No.
All right. Now, Leo is in Idlewild, California. And there's a lot happening all around the country. The great thing about the StreamYard is we're able to bring in our friends via Zoom ish. We used to have people in the audience, in the studio, but now Leo's in Idlewild. I would miss Leo. So we're doing it this way. And also our guests, some of them are in the city, some of them are traveling. So we want to be able to bring them in. My two guests tonight are Ryan McCurdy and Kate Greer. Kate has been on our show many times, and she's amazing and is always doing something. So I always bring her back. Ryan has never been on our show. He's wildly talented. And what, honey? Say it.
I have that video of him playing on that shredding.
Yes, go ahead, Leo. Show what you got.
Show them?
Yes.
Should we show them the
looks like Ryan's in the studio there, right?
Yeah, he's in the studio. Oh, get those ads out.
So he plays guitar. I know that. He's a
get those ads out of the YouTube.
Wonderful guitar player. Wow. Wow.
And there he is just about to sing. So talented.
Oh, so talented and so cute. Do we have him in the green room? Oh my God.
Yes, we do.
You think he heard anything we said, Leo?
Maybe.
Oh.
Ryan.
Hi, everybody.
How are you, honey?
Oh, I am so well and so happy to see the two of you even in this very strange way. It makes me...
I know, but you know what? I'm adjusting to it. I'm adjusting to this strange new world. And I got to tell you, first of all, I miss you because you're such a wonderful person. You just are a great energy. And I miss hearing your singing and your guitar playing. But I got to tell you, Ryan, one of the great things that came out of COVID for me is I got to know my friends better in a different way, because I would see everybody on Facebook and I saw you posting a lot of videos of you singing and playing, and it blew my mind. I always knew you were talented, but I didn't realize all the different skill sets you had. So I got to see that where I wouldn't have gotten to see that at the Duplex.
That's such a positive way of looking at that particular silver lining. Is I think we all went back into our, I know that I was on my laptop in my hard drive looking at files I hadn't looked at in years and thinking, in this moment when I can't be making any of this music or playing my instruments, and then let me share these things. And you're totally right. I think people were discovering how deep the talents of their friends went in this moment.
Right.
So that has been incredible. I love that my relationship with the Duplex and obviously with Darius and with you, like it is that one thing that I go there and I want so badly I need that every time I go there.
Yeah.
But we all have such big worlds. You do so much too, and you're such an extraordinary talent, Maria.
Oh, honey, thank you so much. You know what it is? And I say this all the time, I'm just a big ham. Like there's no way, even as a kid, there was no way to keep me from talking, singing, jumping around like a nut. I just love to perform, and I would be lost without it. So I think with the joy of watching my friends on Facebook, where I wouldn't, because we couldn't see each other, was that I did get to hear your beautiful voice, and I did get to see your guitar playing. And do you also play the piano?
I do, yes.
Unbelievable, which I didn't know about you, Ryan. I didn't know that.
Well, I'm glad to know. In fact, one of the things that has been a blessing these last couple of months is that we were able to get a streaming version of a show that Ellie Pyle and I wrote together called White Rock Cliff. We were able to get it up at Funkadelic Studios and stream it live. And a lot of people were discovering for the first time that I play piano, because it's just not something that I lead with much anymore.
Now, let me stop you there. Did you write that show? You co-wrote that show?
I co-wrote that show, yes.
White Rock Cliff. Wow.
And it had this, as many things did in the COVID era, it had this, strangely prophetic situation where we had workshopped it in the fall of 2019. Wow. And at that point, there was an element of the show. Oh, that's it. The show closed. The show has closed, but it was open recently. But we had written this magical realism element into the show where the given circumstances were that the world had collapsed, or that society had collapsed, and these two people were forced out onto the Appalachian Trail. And we got to the fall of 2019, and Ellie and I looked at each other and said, that's just one too many things. It's too unrealistic.
That's insane.
And then we workshopped it without that element the second week of March in Los Angeles. And I got on a plane and was looking around and thinking, this plane is almost empty. There's masks on everyone. They're handing us hand sanitizer. And then obviously, I got off JFK, went back to my apartment and went into lockdown.
Wow. It's eerie. I just got chills. It's eerie. It's almost like you were thinking something and writing something. And like you said, that sounds too far-fetched, but it came to be.
Well, that was, we had been going back and forth, like, what is the thing that does it? And we had decided that what our version of it was that there was some sort of electrical storm or terrorist action, and that cell phones had gone down, and that the grid collapsing, the cell phones followed by the internet, that would be enough to force people in. Because we were trying to think, what's the thing that would force people into their homes? We just didn't know it was literally 9 months around the corner.
How crazy is that? Well, I want to stop for a minute because people are checking in. Steve Phillips has checked in. He's in Missouri. Hi, Steve. Jeremy Cole DePinto has checked in. David Hodorowitz has checked in. Chauncey Dandridge. Hi, Chauncey. So a bunch of our friends are checking in, and they do come in and watch the show. So that's really wild, Ryan. Now, are you going? My cousin Rena has just checked in from Massachusetts. Hi, sweetheart. She comes in every week. Ryan, are you going to at some point do White Rock Cliff again?
Yes, and I think because we found our producer Martha Good and our team found this incredible way to present it in lockdown, it I think really reinvigorated everyone. And there's a 6-person version that's the streaming version was just me trying to do everything and tell all the stories, play all the instruments.
Right.
And there's a 6-person version that is just so ready to go. And,
oh boy.
And so yeah, I think very soon I hope to be able to show it to you.
I'm so excited for you, and I hope that you will let us know when that happens, and if there's any kind of material, you can send it to us. And I'll post it on my show wall, okay?
I'd love that.
And just let people know. So I've like I said, I've always really enjoyed your music and your energy. I would put you under the gentleman file. You are a total gentleman. I really love that. I always, especially young people, like you don't really there are not a lot of guys like you out there, and I just really appreciate that. Now you're doing something this week, am I right?
I am.
Okay, so are you there right now?
Yes, I got to Savannah, Georgia on Monday. I guess, what is today? Whatever today is. It was
Tuesday, right?
It was yesterday. So I got to Savannah yesterday. We are going to do some really fun things this week. Oh, that's it. That's our show.
Wow.
So during lockdown, I moved from a board seat to the executive artistic directorship of Savannah Rep, which is South Georgia's only equity house. And if you look at the concentration of how the theaters are laid out in Georgia, you have, I think it's either 8 or 9 in Atlanta that are all within 20 miles, that are all union houses. And then you have a 3.5-hour drive down I-16, and then Savannah. So we are the only one outside of the Atlanta metro area. It was very important to the founding, the co-founders and the artistic team here that this company find a way forward through the pandemic, because it's not only a professional theater, it's the only union house, and we have a lot of equity members in Savannah and the greater Savannah area, and we want them to be able to continue to work and earn their pensions and stay on the health plan.
Yes, absolutely. So what are we looking at back here? This is the theater, some of the shows that have happened at the theater, right?
It is. That's a nice cross section of the first 5 years of performance, which is what led us to create our event this week.
Wow.
And that's our website. Thank you, Leo. So we decided to do a concert this week called The Next 5 Years, because the company was going into its 5th year when COVID struck, and we had to cancel a beautifully cast production of Light in the Piazza, which just broke my heart. And so we will have lost more than 1.5 years of production when we come back. And so we wanted to do a concert that celebrated the fact that the theater had existed for 5 years, and now we're looking forward not only for the next 5 years of productions, but also as of this morning, Maria, you're getting breaking news.
I love this.
We have officially signed the lease on our new full-time venue, which is in the very, very center of the Savannah Historic District, and is going to change everything. And so we will be celebrating opening the venue with these concerts there this week.
I've never been to Savannah, but I always wanted to go.
Come on down.
I'm a big fan of I've seen pictures and I've seen movies, and I'm a big fan of the architecture and the food. And so one of these days I'm going to have to take a trip down. Now, there's a few more people that have checked in. Joe Gullah, who is he is a playwright, an amazing playwright, a friend of mine. Joe's going to be on the show soon. He also knows Kate Creer. He has joined us as well. Now, so this is not the last 5 years, which is this is the next 5 years. Am I right?
Yes, we're having our cake and eating it too. The first act is the tremendous Miki Sodergren, who is the executive artistic director of a Savannah-based national competition called American Traditions. And every year, Maria, I think I'd love to have you come down and see it and be part of it at some point. It's this incredible vocal competition that shows off the versatility of its singers' voices, because they choose multiple categories to compete in. And so you'll have Johnny Mercer songs, or you'll have show tunes, or jazz, or pop rock. And you choose multiple genres to show your vocal versatility. But anyway, so Miki Sodergren, who is their EAD and is also an exceptional performer, she and I are going to do a first act that is entirely from the last 5 years. We're going to do a suite, do about a third of the show.
Yay!
And then
I love
after intermission, we're going to be joined by staff and board members, Cecilia Tranarengo and Jen Bishop and Sandra Karras, proud lifelong New Yorker, is the treasurer of Actors Equity, and also we're so glad that she is our artistic associate. So
now, does she live in Savannah now? Has she relocated?
No, she's not. She will be flying in on Thursday to join us for the event. She, myself, and our associate artistic director Nick Corley are all New Yorkers who we're all satellite until the world is finally fully stable again, at which point hopefully we're going to be able to all get down to Savannah a lot more frequently. So.
Wow, that's really, really something. So if people want to keep in touch with the theater, Leo, can you post the link to the, okay, thank you. Leo's amazing. So the Savannah, it's Savannah SavannahRep.org. So go and check that out often, because I'm sure things will be added to it as the summer goes on and fall. And I am personally, which I'm sure you're even more thrilled than I am beyond thrilled that houses are starting to open again. People are jumping out of their skins to go and see live performances.
And in rehearsal tonight, I mean, I'm coming to you. I'm in the lobby of our former venue on the west side of Savannah, and we just got done with rehearsal about 15, 20 minutes ago, and it was breathtaking to be sharing space with performers again. And it was my first.
It kind of makes you emotional, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, in fact, Cecilia is singing "Stars in the Moon," which is just I think it's one of Jason Robert Brown's finest moments.
Yeah.
And when she came to the end tonight, I was just done. I had to go to the bathroom for a couple minutes because it hit me profoundly. The songs, he's always been so great about writing about the lost moment. I mean, we're singing All the Wasted Time. She's singing Stars in the Moon. He can sing about loss and grief so profoundly, and those songs are all hitting us very differently now.
Yes, I agree. Because we really realize that life is fleeting, that moments must be memorized or photographed and I agree with you 100%, Ryan. So I really appreciate you saying that. And I got to tell you, I cannot wait. I mean, the clubs are opening slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Brandy's has been open, but now they're going to be going to 100% soon. Mama's is opening. I think the Duplex is opening next month. So there's a lot of things opening up, but there's something about going to a theater. Like, I can't wait to buy my first tickets and actually go to a show. So I'm really proud of you, and I'm really happy that you're doing that. Now, let me ask you also, I didn't know you were a writer, so how long have you been writing?
That's been something I'd only really started digging into that in the last couple of years. And White Rock is based on on personal experience. So there's a lot of autobiography in that Ellie has helped tease out of me in the last couple of years. But yeah, during lockdown, I found myself staring at a lot of blank writer duet screens, and so I've come up with a couple more full lengths and some pilots, like things that I don't know. The being in isolation made me want to write the worlds that I couldn't experience on stage. So I've written some really some plays that are full of magic and spectacle, and the things I'm just so I'm in such earnest to get to them that I wrote the play that I want to see when we come out of this.
Yeah. Well, that's great, because a lot of people I talked to, very creative people, said that they had the opposite reaction, where they didn't want to do anything creative. They were just frozen. They were frozen in this fear, and they were just trying to get through the day to day. So I think people that did get a lot done, I really admire that.
And I want to be fair, because people that were around me know that I don't want to seem like I got away scot-free. For me, about 6 months. I mean, it's been well over a year now, but the 6 months were really bad, and then 6 months have been really productive. And I think we all learned what our new low could be, and I'm hoping, like me, especially when White Rock was running and I was able to go back to a studio and do my show 4 times a week. Like, I hit a new high because I knew what my new low was. So I hope that people have been.
That's a great way to put it. That is a great way to put it.
I miss, that's that great song from Next to Normal that Alice Ripley sings, I Miss the Mountains. It was definitely, the first 6 months I missed the peaks and valleys, and then I realized it was because I was so low I couldn't even see up the next hill, and now it's good to have a little more perspective.
Yeah, I think, what I mean, for me, and it sounds like you had a similar experience, I was in such fear in the beginning that the only thing I could do was write, because I felt like I was going to lose my mind. I mean, I don't think any of us knew what was in front of us. And so for me, writing was a way to survive, and keep my mind from going to such a dark place that I couldn't function. So I just kept writing and writing and writing. And I started a women's writers group during that time, because I wanted to connect with my friends across the country, because they were in the same boat. Kind of almost like a support group, but like every week we would bring stuff we wrote. So that's amazing. Now I got to say that there's a picture that I was looking on your Facebook page. There's a picture of you and your writing partner, that you're out on this cliff and you're so close to the edge. I mean, I almost fainted just looking at it. Were you really there? Is that superimposed?
Oh no, that's real. That's Ellie Pyle and myself. I mean, not only are we're writing partners who are also best friends and have been since college. That's McAfee Knob. It is that out on the ledge. We were there, and someone took that picture for us. And what's kind of amazing is talk about how theater brings together the real and the experienced and the fictional. Ellie had never been on the trail, and I had, because I had the experiences. So she was writing from Wikipedia, and I was writing from a decade-old faulty memory of events, because if when you see the show, you will learn that a lot happened on the trail.
I'm looking forward to it.
So what we did together the day after the show closed, its live performance stream, is she and I both went on the trail for several days. I was showing it to her for the first time, and she was getting to see these places that she had written these beautiful monologues about. And, McAfee Knob, in the play, she wrote this beautiful monologue about stepping through the pine forest onto this rocky outcropping, almost like a diving board. And then she and I got to see that diving board. And that's
what it looks like. You're absolutely right. It looks like a diving board, but all I kept thinking was, oh my God, like you're diving, you could be diving to your death. You could be diving to another reality. It was just like, for me, it was very frightening, because I have a little bit of a fear of heights. Yeah, I try to overcome it all the time, but I did find it so fascinating. And the fact that you were out there, I thought, well, that's a guy and girl that take risks.
We do take risks. Although my mom, bless her, after we sent her that picture, she sent me pictures of people, I can't believe this, people doing handstands on the edge, and people dangling off the edge with their legs and holding their whole body weight up with their arms. And she sent me those, and she said, I'm glad you were far enough away from the edge that you weren't doing this. And so I was like, I like to think that we do. I think Ellie and I take calculated. We love our lives. We don't want to unnecessarily jeopardize them. I
Right.
certainly don't
That's a
anymore.
great.
But I love to live with that. I do love to live with a certain amount of respect, healthy respect for nature and the environment, and also see as much of it as possible. I mean, I know you love to travel too.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I have this. I mean, I feel like the universe is so powerful, and I do believe that there is a being greater than ourselves, whatever that is. You know, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, a higher power. There is something out there that that I do respect, and I think as creative people, we are in touch with that, and so that's what for the respect factor that comes in. And I feel that when we create, we are at our highest vibration. Did you feel that?
I could not agree with you more. I think that is exactly right. I think you and I feel the world in very similar ways, and for me, you know, that's why I think it's why sound is something that you and I profoundly share just a visceral experience of, is that the way that sound communicates by wave is the way that I also think that personality communicates, and the way that that the creative process communicates. So music is kind of like it's the only way I can explain to other people how I view the whole world, which I think is why it's and you know, for anyone that's watching, I'm going to hope and assume that people watching are familiar with your work, Maria. But you know, I still very, very profoundly remember the first time I heard you sing, and I obviously feel your connection to every note and every lyric that you sing, but also I feel your vibration inside the room. And it's so interesting because my only experience with you, to be honest, is Duplex, and that's always you never know when the room is going to be completely in your pocket, or whether the room is going to be lost to chaos.
Yeah.
And every time, no matter when you step up, I feel you vibrate across the room. It's a really beautiful thing.
Well, thank you, honey. That's really beautiful, and I appreciate that. I just love what I do, as do you, and that's why I really respect you as well. And I love that you use the word vibration, because that's what it is. And I feel if we stay in our bodies when we're performing, even if people are in their own world, like you said, their own chaos, they will eventually stop doing what they're doing, and they will listen. And even if they don't, I'm listening. I'm listening to what's happening out there, and you know, we're listening to each other. So I don't want you to go. I'm going to. I want to bring Kate on, and
I would love to see Kate. Yes, please.
Kate's amazing. You would love each other. And I'm going to bring Kate on, and you go back into the green room, and then we'll bring you back on at about 9:45, 9:47-ish, okay? And then we can all talk. But if you and Kate were in the same room, you'd be talking for hours, because she's an amazing actor as well, and musician and all that. So, okay, stick around. Don't go too far, okay? And I'm so glad you're here. What a wonderful guy. What a gentleman. Okay, before we bring on Kate, I want to acknowledge our friend Judith Chusid. Hi, Judith. She's tuning in from LA, and I'm so happy you're here. Joe Gullah, congratulations to the next 5 years. What a great title. Yes, I hope your performances go great. It's been wonderful learning about you and your work here on Maria's show. Yes, and coming from Joe, that's a great compliment, because Joe's an amazing playwright and performer. Joe's an amazing performer and a friend of Kate Greer's. So what a perfect time to bring Kate in. Oh my God, Kate!
Hi.
How great. Is that your real background, or did you fabricate that?
No, this is my brick wall in Hell's Kitchen with a fireplace, mantle, plants.
I love it. I love it. So you got a chance to listen to Ryan a little bit. I think that the two of you would just spend hours talking.
Yeah, I was really impressed, Ryan. I was so excited for what you're doing at Savannah Rep, and I mean, that is just a regional theater, bringing that to life is fantastic. I mean, you probably couldn't see me, but I was clapping and cheering. Me and my cat here.
I love it. It's true. It's so exciting. And you've done a lot of work on stage. I mean, I know that you've done a lot of film. You know, right now we're going to talk about your web series, but you've also done a lot of stage work, right, Kate?
Yeah, no, actually, I came to New York. I'm a classically trained actress. I studied Shakespeare at a conservatory for 3 years, and I've done, I've done musicals, and I was in a band. And P.S. I love that Big Fish, Small Pond. I was been walking around singing it. That on
Yeah,
your
that's
phone.
my CD. That's on my second
Oh,
CD. That's my
so
song.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well, thank
fantastic.
you. Thank you, honey. I'm glad. And now I co-wrote that with Greg Schlotthauer. I don't know if you know Greg. You probably do know Greg. He's a good friend of mine, and I'm sure you know him.
Yeah,
But we wrote that
fantastic
together.
harmonies. I'm like a harmony, like a junkie. I love harmonies. So
yeah.
really
Thank
fantastic.
you.
Yeah.
Now, so we're talking. Ryan and I, of course, as you heard, we're talking about some people, different people. Did different things in lockdown, and I don't judge any of it, but I got to tell you, I'm really impressed when people did create things, and you created something really cool that now is coming to be. So tell everybody about what you're working on and what's happening with it.
Okay, yeah. So I have in lockdown, besides pacing around my apartment and like watching people through the courtyard over here, I decided to write a web series about loosely based on my experiences with my therapist. It's called Diner Therapy, and it's a series about this displaced New York City therapist, Dolly Ray, played by me, who has to, because of the pandemic, she's forced to hold all of her sessions outdoors in diners and various other public spaces, or risk losing her livelihood. And it's sort of like we take you through different eyes of her different patients, and what the world is like having therapy outside in diners with masks and in parks and things like that. So it's just that, I felt like we really needed some lightness in this very dark time. Every night at 7:00, bang, 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 bang on the pots for the healthcare workers. And
yes.
So, I don't, so many people were, I knew several people that, died because of COVID. And I just was like, I don't know. It just somehow I just reached deep in my inside. I was like, well, what are you going to do? I was laid off from my support job. Luckily I was one of the lucky people that was able to book television during the pandemic and work throughout that, And
I love that. I love when you book stuff and then you always post about it and we get to see it, which is great. And you're always wonderful. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So anyway, that's what Diner Therapy is about. And we just got our first festival submission in the Dark Comedy Film Festival. It's online this year out of LA, and you can go to oh, there it is. Look at that.
Leo, that's Leo. All Leo. He's the man behind the curtain. It's amazing. So it's Nick of Time Films. That's Kate's website, right, Kate?
Yeah, that's my website. But it also, you can go to the Dark Comedy Film Festival to watch it online. It's from the 24th to the 28th. I think that's this Saturday or Sunday. And then, I think Emily. I'm
writing this down. Dark Comedy Film Festival. So anybody can just go there.
Yeah, it's like, I think the tickets are like $5.
Oh, just please.
The piece, there it is. It's right there on the screen.
Yay! I mean, that's a steal. That's a steal.
Yeah. So and I just want to say that this piece, I mean, I did write it and I conceived it and cast it and everything, but it is truly a collaboration, and I must shout out to my fellow collaborators and directors. The first episode, Laura Daniel, a fantastic musical theater actress, fantastic actress, great director. She does her own show, Laura Loves New York, where she goes around and talks about New York. Also Wayne Henry, who plays the patient in the first one.
I can't wait.
And he actually directed the second episode that stars myself and Laura. And Trent Stone plays Superman Stan in both episodes. So
I love it.
And it, I really, I also involved some friends that you might know, Liz Stanton and Brooke Fulton as the Hell's Kitchen Diner. So
I love Liz. I love Liz.
yes. And I'm really a big believer. I mean, in collaboration. I don't believe anything gets done by one single person.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I not to go back to, I mean, it seems we've heard it over and over, but it does take a village. That's one of the reasons
totally
I love that saying. And I personally have always been the kind of person that loves a village because it takes the pressure off of that of one person.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you collaborate. I'm the same way when I write music. Like usually it's with Lynn Portis or Karen Cole, but I love I'll bring something, or even Greg that I wrote that other song.
Mm-hmm.
I brought a certain amount to him, and then he'll play something which will like blow the wind back at me creatively, and I'll think of something completely different. So did you find that to be that? Did it start off to be one thing and then it turned into something different, or did it evolve as you were filming it?
Well, when I was talking about the idea, my dear friend Rebecca Ray, that's why the therapist Dolly Ray is kind of in homage to Rebecca. But, we talked about this idea and I was like, God, I want to work with some really great comedy people. And I thought of Wayne because I'd worked with him on a crazy project, and Laura because Joe Gula knows Laura, and I think they worked together. And Laura and I had been in different circles, and I just loved her energy and her voice. I mean, it's just. Did I answer your question? I'm sorry, I kind of
that it did evolve because you were working with other people, and Rebecca Ray, and so Rebecca, you've worked with before on another film which I loved.
Yeah,
I love that film. That's what she told me is the name of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Can people still find that? Is it out there?
Oh, it's on my website. You can. It's a 17-minute film about a New York City artist who accidentally summons the ghost of Johnny Cash.
I loved it.
And he helps her find the father she's never met. It's a very surreal piece. Actually, I would love to make that into a musical. Holy hell, that would be amazing.
Wow.
I just thought of that right now. I just thought of it.
Well, first of all, I loved that movie. I loved it. And I still think about it all the time. And I always see the images, and I love that Johnny Cash hanging out in the window in your apartment. Yeah. I loved your exchanges with the guy that plays your dad. I thought he was great.
Arthur Bartow, his name is.
What a great acting job. Yeah. And both of you were so connected, in the scenes. And so I think that's everybody should definitely go to Kate's website, which is Nick of Time, not Times, Nick of Time Films.com. There's a lot of amazing stuff. And, Kate really is humble about it, but she's an amazing actress and writer. And you can also see Kate, and you did was it The Undoing you were in this year?
Yeah, two things. The most recent thing, I did this series finale of Younger opposite Sutton Foster and Hilary Duff in season 7, episode 2, where I play Fupa Grunhoff's Mutter Grunhoff. I play as a German woman. And I'm very stern. I got a lot of big hair. My hair's real big up here, yeah. And then also, ironically, in The Undoing, I play a German housekeeper opposite Nicole Kidman and a bunch of other.
Now you're not German. You're not German, but you are like the queen of accents.
Yeah, I'm so good with the dialects. Yeah.
And now you also coach dialects, right?
Yeah, I have helped some people here and there, but I don't do a lot of coaching. I would love to, I'd love to give back in that way, but I've done a lot of voiceover in the past, and
Speaking of Joe Gula wrote a show. Garbo, I believe that you were in. He was the playwright, and you played an Irish woman, right?
Yes, I played an Irish artist in Italy with the fantastic Joe Gula, and also our oh my God, Joe, help me out pronouncing this name. Art, a beautiful Greek guy. That's all I know. It was a while ago. Oh, there's Rebecca.
Yeah, there's Rebecca Ray. Joe's here. Catherine Nance has said, love you both. Such a fun film. Hi, Catherine. Cynthia Shaw is shouting you out. Liz, I saw Liz pop on for a minute there. Our friend Krista Piero has checked in. Krista Piero is an amazing filmmaker as well. So I admire you filmmakers, I gotta say, because that is really going out there, and playwrights and all you writers. I mean, I'm a songwriter and I think I'm pretty good at it, but writing a whole show, wow, from beginning to end, I'm impressed.
Well, let's be clear here with Diner Therapy, episode 1, Desperate Times Call for Desperate Measures. That's the full title of the first episode because it's true.
Yeah.
And that was only a 6-page piece. And my objective with this, because that's what she told me was like a true passion project with original music, original scoring, music by Erin Hill. She played like rock harp. She's an amazing musician.
Yeah, that was great. She was great.
And so I spent a lot of time and great art direction. I almost drowned making it. And this time I wanted to just do it fast and furious, Yeah.
Well, also time is of the essence with this piece.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Sort of like, time was of the essence. Literally. Right. It was like that sort of, outside forces, art. It's like, kind of like what you talked about, with Ryan.
And the windows, these windows, I find as creative people, sometimes you have a lot of time. Like if you're writing a book, you can kind of take your time a little bit. But with certain things, like this was happening in COVID, it was very specific to that. So you had a window that I'm sure it felt like it was closing at some time, right?
Yeah.
That you had to jump through.
Yeah, I mean, we've had 2 episodes so far, and I'm sort of thinking about a 3rd episode. Now that we're out of masks or whatever, like there's always an opportunity for creativity and exploration and expression and more music. And there is singing in the 2nd episode because I love to have music in everything I do. It's because I feel like it's such a rhythm, I love
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So this is so exciting. There's so much going on. I always love talking to people like you and Ryan, because it gets me wanting to write more. It's amazing. Like that is the great exchange of being around amazing creative people, that it's very inspiring, So I would love to bring Ryan back because we're going to do the food section of our show.
Virtually.
So Ryan McCurdy, this is Kate Greer.
Hi, Kate.
Ryan
How
McCurdy.
do you do?
How do you do?
I do very well, thank you.
I was enjoying the interview. I was just watching it like this from the green room. It's such a great interview, y'all.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, Ryan, you live in New York, right?
I do.
At some point, you two have to meet because you would have so much to talk about. You may even end up in a production somewhere together because
so cool.
The way things work in this world. So as speaking of being creative, I always say to myself, if I'm gonna do a show about creative people, I must stay creative every week. So I challenge myself to cook something different every week. And this week, Monday was the last Friday was my birthday, May 21st. Yes, so thank you. I was very, I always love my birthday. May is such a great month to have a birthday. But I ran into Kate Vargas, who's a mutual friend of Kate Greer, on the street, and she said, "Wait, today's your birthday? It's the 21st. Did you know that it's the 21st day of the 21st week of the 21st year of the 21st century?" I was like, yes. So I felt even more special, and I said I'm going to extend my birthday a little bit. So I did go with a birthday theme. So I'm Italian, so all Italian. I do love pasta. So I made a gemelli pasta. Gemelli means twins. So this pasta is intertwined. It's 2 pastas together, so twins. And I took roasted red peppers, Vidalia onions, some olive oil, some garlic, of course, a little bit of basil, some sherry, and a little bit of butter. I do love butter. I looked in my freezer. I had some peas. Italians love peas. You like peas too?
Peas. Shout out to Rebecca Ray. She's the peas queen.
Really? I love peas too. My mother
Bolognese
and everything.
Peas.
Beautiful. Well, Rebecca Ray, I'm right there with you with the peas. So this is what I made. I wish you were here. I would feed you. But, once we get back to everything, I'll have you back in the studio.
Awesome.
And then this won't be everybody's favorite salad, but it's one of my favorite salads. So I have romaine and arugula. Then I have grape tomatoes. I have baby yellow peppers, red onions, and anchovies. That's going to turn most people off, but I like them. So I'm like, you know what? It's my birthday. I'm having the anchovies. And so
Go for it.
I use the anchovy. Well, you know what? We grew up eating them. So for me, it's like it reminds me of my mom or something.
Good for your skin, I think.
I think you're right. So I'm putting extra virgin olive oil and just a nice aceto de Modena, which is a beautiful balsamic from Modena. And that's it. Now, for my birthday, I was at my friend Bill and Caesar's yesterday, and they had a little party and they surprised me with a birthday cake. So I saved a piece of it. It's from Magnolia Bakery. It is vanilla with chocolate frosting, and I can't wait to eat yet another piece of this. I've had about 4 this week. That's all but you know what? It's still kind of my birthday. Once it's over, then I'll go back on my diet. So that's it. Now, so once people start coming back in, I'll start cooking for people. But I find that if I don't create every week, I feel kind of lost. And that's my way. Do you cook, Ryan? Are you a cook or not so much?
I do quite a bit. Yes.
What do you cook when you do cook?
I'm a steak and potatoes guy, but I like to experiment with pastas and potatoes and just figure out new things. Yeah. Mm-hmm. When I go to it's interesting, when I go to a restaurant, I'm a creature of habit. Like there's my Westway Diner order is set in stone. But when I cook at home, I almost never do the same thing.
Okay, so Kate and I know the Westway very well. Now, what do you order? Because I know I order what I order there. What do you order when you go to the Westway? What's your go-to?
The chicken parmesan. But the dinner entree, not because they offer you a sandwich first, and you say, "Oh no, please, the dinner entree with a side salad with ranch." Because
he's so polite.
I try. The ranch dressing that comes for the salad is the perfect addition to the chicken parm as well.
I love that. See, we like when you go to the Westway, Kate. What do you order? What's your go-to?
Well, what I used to order or what I order now.
All right, well, both. Let's talk about both.
Okay. Well, I was there last week with my dear friend Chris Parks, and I had a Greek salad without anchovies. I said, save them for Maria.
Yeah.
But usually I would like to have like a turkey burger with lettuce and tomatoes, some spicy brown mustard with French fries, and not now, but before, and a black and white shake.
See, I'm telling you, diners, people love diners and they're specific. And I love, which I don't ever make it. I never make this, but only at diners do I always order a meatloaf sandwich on a roll with gravy on the side, and I get mashed potatoes, and then I always get a piece of lemon meringue pie.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. That's people like what they like at diners.
It's true.
So,
what diner is closest to here?
Oh my God. And look at you with your new background. Leah,
Waverly. Isn't the Waverly near the
Waverly? Is that where I'm going?
Yeah, the Waverly. You're at the duplex right now. Jump in an Uber or a taxi and get to
Am I that way?
Waverly. Leah, what do you order when you go to diners? What's your diner go-to?
Patty melts if they're on rye.
Oh yeah,
a good patty melt. Thank you for
nobody really makes those anymore except for diners. So I appreciate those.
I'm gonna have to get a patty melt now this week because you said that. I haven't had one in a long, long time. That's delicious. Okay, let's. We have about 6 minutes left to our show. Let's remind people what you're both doing. So Ryan, if people weren't here for the beginning of the show, Ryan, tell everybody where you are right now and what is happening.
I'm in Savannah, Georgia, with Savannah Rep, South Georgia's only equity theater company. We are doing the next 5 years on Thursday and Friday, and it is already sold out. So the thing that I am promoting more than that is on Saturday from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the lobby of our brand new space. We are hosting community groups and individuals. And I think we have 6.5 of the 7 hours already booked. It's going to be, I think, 7 community organizations and other theater companies, several singer-songwriters every half hour. the performer will change. It's free all day. We just want to show off the new space and make it very, very clear that we are here to serve the community, although we are not a community theater. We are a theater for and distinctly for our community. So
that is incredible. I can't even pretend not to be impressive. You know, I can't play this cool. That is incredible. So and are they all local artists that are coming in Saturday?
Yes. Well, you know, the one thing that is going to take, I think, a little longer to get back to is our regular casting of guest artists and local talent, because it's going to take a little bit longer to get back to the flying and the housing and the lodging and all of that. Right. Yes, on Saturday it is all performers and theater makers from within the greater Savannah area, and it is a spectacularly talented group. So
I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And Kate, tell everybody what you have been working on and how they can find it, how they can find your work. How can we watch it?
Sure. Well, currently I am producing, writing this web series called Diner Therapy. And episode 1 is now available for streaming on the Dark Comedy Film Festival, darkcomedyfilmfestival.com. I think there's a website on Quidio where you can watch it until May 28th for $5. And we are in the process of editing episode 2 called Pillow Talk. And we're just submitting to film festivals and hoping to get the word out there about this crazy comedy about life during and after COVID, and writing the next one. So,
and you know what? You just made me think of something, because even though things are changing quickly in the world where we are getting back out there, but I bet this is a perfect setup for a therapist. Your character would have so much to talk about even after we're coming out of all this.
Yes, I have a there might be a therapist retreat in the works for the displaced therapists, but we'll see.
That's so great. I'm hooked already. I really am. I'm hooked already. And you know, one of the good things that did come out of this, I think that you'll agree, is that we did have time to stay home, which we didn't have before, and actually watch other people's work.
Yeah.
You know, whether it was Netflix or Disney Plus or Broadway HD or just reading. Like, I read a lot. You know what I'm listening to? Because I listen to a lot of audiobooks that I could not recommend anymore. It's just amazing. Is Alan Cumming wrote a book called Not My Father's Son.
Yes, I heard that.
I wanted to read it anyway, and then I thought I'll listen to it on Audible because he reads it and he has that beautiful Scottish accent.
Yes,
it is so good. I cannot say enough about it. So if anybody out there is listening and as a fan of Alan Cumming, this book is so good. It's called Not My Father's Son. So that's another thing that I started doing in COVID, is listening more, listening to more podcasts, listening to books on CD, because I was driving around a lot in my car versus being on the subway,
Yeah.
So, okay, you're both working on great things. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for sharing your talents and your wisdom and your hearts. I always like to have people leave the audience with something uplifting. So, and it can be anything you want. If people are watching and they need to hear something from an artist so that they keep going, what would you tell them, Ryan? What would you say?
I would say that no matter how many days in a row you have seen clouds, that the sun is pushing through for all of us in all of our ways, and for each individual person, the sun might be the friend that you really need in this moment. It might be a collaborator that you didn't know you needed, but just keep waiting for that sun. We need you so badly to hold on until the sun comes back out. So I would say wait for the sun.
Oh, that's great. That's great. How about you, Kate? What would you give us a word of encouragement?
It's really funny, Ryan, because my thought is also weather related. And I, on the website I have, there's a COVID silver lining. And I was talking to my friend Catherine, who's on this call today, about the silver linings, that even despite all the death and destruction that's happened, especially with the climate and the weather, even in spite of myself, I think I would just encourage people to. I'm a big believer about expression, and just express yourself some way, whether it's through a song or even just like, I don't say dancing around your apartment, but that's what I did. So there were so many silver linings that I didn't realize existed before I was like forced into this kind of not prison, but sometimes it felt like that. So there were a lot of COVID silver linings. Dolphins in the Gowanus Canal, whales in the Hudson River. Amazing things happened for the environment. But it was a very intense time. A lot of learning took place, and I keep thinking COVID silver linings. So that's
absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And not to downplay the sadness that happened, not to downplay the fear we felt.
Yeah.
But in spite of all that, I think that there's just lights beaming through all of us, and that desire to reconnect. And I truly feel is our renaissance as artists and a society. And amazing things are going to come out of this. And you two are two of the amazing things that came out of it. And I feel privileged that I got to talk with you tonight. And I'm so happy that people got to listen to what you had to say. So thank you, Ryan McCurdy. Thank you, Kate Greer. Leo Rodriguez, where are you? Where has he gone? There.
Quite a while now.
Leo, you're so funny. So, and Leo Rodriguez, who's also a writer, he's a playwright and a songwriter as well, an amazing guy, so creative. So thank you, everybody. We are here every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Please come back and join us. You can also listen to our show in podcast on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio, and Leo, YouTube, right?
That's right.
Everyone
right now, we're playing live to YouTube.
Yes. So if you can always watch us on YouTube Live. And this is episode 198. So there's 197 episodes prior to this that you can go back and watch. So, yeah, it's great. Thank you, everybody. We love and appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks so much.
Bye from Ottawa.
Bye.